So it is, and I just caught it as I was thumbing through TikTok a little bit earlier, and it was name a coach that his career was made off of one player.
No, I did not see that, but that's a great topic, and we should. Well, hell, let's just lead with that because that's a great topic.
Yes,
That's Chris. I'm Brian. This is Health We Know Podcast. Thanks for joining us. We just started this year. We're ramping it up. We want to grow our audience, so please share, subscribe, and enjoy. And if there's, give some feedback as well. You're on the YouTube or on the Spotify's, we're on the TikToks and all the other relevant social medias. So enjoy. So we do college football. That's it. College football, at least for now. In the summer times, we might find something else to talk about. But right now, college football is gold. It's life. And so if you're looking for men's diving, that's not this podcast. It's not. I don't know anything
Unless
about
we're
that.
discussing, was it Greg Louganis?
Yes,
Unless we're discussing,
yeah.
Teammate.
Yes, we'll go into that's what our whole summer will be of, just talking about Greg Louganis for 4 months, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
You never know.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's lead. There's a couple of things we want to talk about. Like, we're going to preview the games coming this weekend, but there's a couple of things we want to talk about. One is Chris just had an idea about like which coach was made by one player. That's a great question. The second one is the one we didn't get to on our review last week's games, about the open job positions and what we have right now as of Tuesday, October 21st at 8 p.m. East or Central Time, and what we may see, as soon as this weekend. And so we'll do some preview, we'll do some more picks, and then we'll explain our picks as well. So we'll get going here. Let's kick off with that idea you had about so tell us again, what was that?
So I seen it on social media, and I don't know what show it is or anything like that, but the question was, name a coach that his career has been made by one player. The one example that was on there was Tom Crean and Dwayne Wade at Marquette.
Sure. Okay.
He parlayed Dwayne Wade.
This is basketball, football,
yes,
whatever.
whoever.
Yes. Okay.
Name
gotcha.
a coach, period, in sports that his whole career was way longer than it probably would have been, or
sure,
that was way more successful than it probably might not have been, based on one player they was able to get or have on their squad. Okay. And the example was Tom Crean with Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade. That's a great one.
Who went to a Final Four.
Who's going to be hard
and
to
then
top
he was trash after that, right? Now, I have one, Delaney.
Okay.
While you're thinking, because I know this, we just sprung this on you. I seen it, and I sent you that in social media. It was on TikTok. And, said, you're thinking about it because I'm going to bring it up. But you didn't see it, which is fine. Mine, and mine's controversial AF. You ready for this?
Okay, yeah.
Urban Meyer, Tim Tebow.
Okay. All right. Well, let's walk through that. So Urban Meyer's at Florida from what, 2006 or 6 to 2011?
Yeah, ish.
12?
Somewhere in there.
He started in Ohio State. Was it 12? I think it was 12. So let's say 06 to 11, basically.
Right.
Before that, he's at Utah.
Florida,
at Florida, right. So, at Florida, right. Then he went to Ohio State for a handful of years. Tim Tebow.
Now, the reason I say that is his first
that is controversial because
his first year was 05. Sorry, his first year was 05.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay, 05.
Yeah, he went like 8-4. Chris Leak's on that team.
Right.
And they go through, they wind up, I forget what happened. I think they beat like Iowa or something like that in the Outback Bowl. Just a regular run of the mill season, 8-4, 9-3, 7-5, whatever it was. Tebow gets there in 06. They win it in 06. Now, the reason they win it is, of course, they got a great defense in 06, but Tim Tebow picked up countless first downs on 3rd and 4th and 2 or less that whole season. And then in 07, he wins the Heisman, and I think it was 07. It was 07. They lost to Michigan in the Citrus Bowl.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly.
And
that
then
Lloyd Carr's last game. Mhm.
Right. In '08, they beat Oklahoma to win the national championship.
Title. Okay.
All right. And then '09, they beat someone, but they lose to Alabama in the second SEC championship. And
Okay.
then the Saban era takes over in
Right.
'08, '09, right
Oh,
around in
and
there.
right. Right.
Yep. Because Florida wins it in '08, they beat Oklahoma '09, and then they beat someone. I think it's Cincinnati in the Sugar Bowl that year. Travis Kelce
Okay. Oh,
playing
sure.
tight
Yeah.
end for Cincinnati.
Sure. Sure.
Brian
Okay.
Kelly that left
Brian Kelly,
Cincinnati to
coach.
go to Notre Dame.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. Right. Right.
Bringing back memories here.
Yeah. So this is 15 years ago, roughly.
Yes. Right. So he and then Tebow leaves, and then it was I forget who quarterback it was that came in after that. Oh, Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask
Yeah.
comes in, and he's only there a few years before, Urban Meyer, my heart hurts. I can't do this anymore.
Are bothering me.
I'm out of here. Dan Mullen comes in.
Yep.
Right after that. So he made all of his hay the 4 years Tim Tebow was there.
Sure.
And then gone. Now we could take we could go Ohio State a whole different way, but
right.
As far as career at the University of Florida, Urban Meyer, Tim Tebow.
Yeah, I see where you're going, and that's really interesting because he's well regarded as one of the greatest coaches, right? I mean, he's won titles at a couple different places.
Right.
It's interesting that point you made about the 3rd and 4th and shorts that they picked up over and over again, and just the plays he made to go along with the leak. I don't have a problem with that, honestly. Like, he had a nice career at Utah, and the year before, what was that?
Yes.
Bowling Green, or what it was before?
Right.
I forget what it was.
Right, Bowling Green.
But not until of course, it's not fair to compare Florida to Bowling Green, Utah, but not until he got his Heisman Trophy winner. And Chris Leak was a highly rated 5-star quarterback too that came in that class a couple years prior, I guess it was. Who was before Urban Meyer? I can't even blank who it was.
Oh, that's when they went from Steve Spurrier to
who's in the middle?
Ron Zook.
Ron Zook, of course, yes.
And
right
then
in the
Zook
middle.
leaves,
right, okay.
and then they hire Urban Meyer. Yep.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
In '04. Zook left in '04. He got fired in '04. Urban Meyer shows up football season of '05.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't have I think that's fair. I mean, if you're an Ohio State fan, you might say, well, no, because he won a title with Cardale Jones. Well, I mean, he did, but Cardale Jones was a backup, and they had an elite defense. They had elite skill guys.
They had Zeke Elliott.
Zeke Elliott, that helps too, right?
My thing on that, though, Delaney, here's my whole thing. Without that Florida and Tim Tebow job, he isn't even sniffing that Ohio State job.
No, probably not. Right?
No.
Right. No.
He's not. They're not hiring Urban Meyer unless he has Tim Tebow at Florida.
That's a good point.
They would have went a totally different direction.
Yeah, he was an Ohio State assistant at one point, so maybe there's that connection. But it certainly didn't. It certainly helped propel him into that job. Like,
for sure.
I did a 1 year I took a year off. Basically, he did a year in Europe, like the kids do after they graduate college. I was on TV instead of going to Ohio State right away. His heartburn was better, and the co-eds were not texting him, I think, as part of the thing, which is also the heartburn. I gather. Allegedly. Yeah, that's a good one. So when you first said that, I had one comment or one coach that comes to mind immediately. And it's more about a payday than it is like a full career, and that's sort of relevant to this weekend for me, at least. That's where my mind goes, and that's Mel Tucker. Mel Tucker was an assistant coach under Saban. He had some several other places, DB coach. He was with the Chicago Bears and other places in the NFL. He gets the Michigan State job in 2020, and 2020's COVID season. Big Ten's a mess. They didn't have the full season. 2021, he gets Walker's his last name. First name is Blank and Blank. He's with Seattle, running back.
Delaney Walker, is it?
Delaney Walker. Anyway, this kid in 2021 propels them to a 10-3, eventually 10-3 season, and they beat Michigan for the first time. And they beat them the year before. They beat Michigan his first year. They went on to either 10-2 or I maybe 10-3. I forget what the final. And then 2022, they have a really poor year, really, really poor year. They go back to the mean of like I forget what they were, like 6-6, something like that, after Walker graduated. And Walker went off against Michigan. He had like 150, 200 yards, couple touchdowns, just went
Did
off
they
on
make the
Michigan.
playoff and get beat by Bammer? Derrick
Yes,
Henry
that was
Bammer?
that. Well, yeah,
that
it must have
then?
been right. Is that right? I wanted to say that, but I'm thinking that doesn't seem right.
Oh, no,
2021,
that seems now
4
that would have
years
been
ago.
before Derrick Henry, because Derrick Henry
Henry,
has been
yeah,
in. He's like 31 now.
yeah. So that was probably the 2016.
Yeah, okay, that was a little bit before then.
2016, right? But anyway, I don't think they played it parlayed into a playoff game, but a high, it might have been a Sugar Bowl or something, a high bowl game. And then the next year, 2023, September, we find out he likes to crank it on the phone to sexual assault of survivors, gets canned by Michigan State, and still ends up a $90 million contract that was fully guaranteed over 10 years. They gave him a 10-year contract after 2021. Now, I think there's some debate whether he gets it because he got fired for cause or whatever, but I kind of lost track of what it was. But he had a $9 million a year, guaranteed $90 million after beating Michigan and having a 10-2 or 10-3 season.
Is that frowned upon?
It is frowned upon. You shouldn't do it. The yanking
okay.
it. You should try to recruit, the Walker kid, who was, by the way, he was a transfer into Michigan State, a 1-year transfer. He was just there for his senior year.
Kenneth Walker III.
Kenneth Walker, thank you. Kenneth Walker, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, so
ChatGPT,
Kenneth Walker
baby.
III, thank you. Kenneth Walker III made Mel Tucker a multi-millionaire that he otherwise probably wouldn't have, based on the fact that the 2 years on either side of that. That's the first person that comes to mind like that. Another person that's maybe not fair, and so I'm just thinking out loud a little bit. What about Trevor Lawrence and Dabo?
Well, I went there a little,
but he had a title with
Deshaun
Watson, right? Too.
Right.
So, yeah, that's not fair.
That's tough.
He had a couple guys, right? Man, I'm just thinking strictly college football for simplicity right now. But
so outside the box.
That's tough.
I got you one. You ready? You're gonna love this.
Oh boy,
Bill Belichick, Tom Brady.
It's quite clear at this point that after Bill leaves and Tom leaves, there's a little bit of problem in between. But the Patriots are kind of figuring things out now. They're becoming
Mike Vrabel's doing a
different.
very good job up there.
Yes, right. So they hired the right guy again, right? Yeah, and Brady kind of fell into Belichick's lap, right? I mean, Belichick takes Brady in the draft, number 200, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Not until Drew Bledsoe, his, seeming on his way to a Hall of Fame career, gets injured, and that the rest is history from there. We see Brady go on and win a few titles there, and then a title in Tampa, and retire as, arguably the GOAT or one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks and maybe players in NFL history. Belichick fails miserably after that. He's failing miserably at North Carolina right now, and I don't know that's going to last long. They're 2-4, play Virginia this weekend, by the way, so they might end up at 2-5.
Oh, they're going to be 2-5, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Now, some would argue. All right, go ahead.
I got one. Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson.
Well, that's all to say. You could that one's the Patriots and Belichick they won 6 rings, 7 rings, that's whatever it was.
Right.
So 6 rings, I think it was. So that's tough.
Right, the 6 rings, right.
Right.
And they had good defenses that helped. Yes. I mean, they should have had 2 more if they could have just beat the friggin' Giants. And
right.
They had an undefeated season too. So, that's maybe controversial too. With
this is all fun anyway. I mean, who gives a shit? But you're right. I mean, you win 6. That's not like a flash in the pan. Tom Crean is way far off in comparison with Dwayne Wade. Just go to a Final Four, and then he parlays into the Indiana. Was it Indiana? He was he was coach at.
Yes, Indiana. Yep.
Yeah, we got parlay that into a coach at Indiana. right? He took a
that was
Final
a
Four
disaster.
Dwayne Wade, and just just an implosion.
Terrible.
So not Belichick like
Yeah.
ish.
No.
Belichick won 6 Super Bowls, so that's got a little bit different. But it's
Right.
just a fun conversation.
That is fun. I like that. Should we do the coaches discussion now?
Yep.
Do you want to wait after? You want to start off?
We can do it. We can do it now before we get to our
Okay,
picks.
let's do the coaches because we didn't get to that last time. So, as everyone knows, the landscape of college football has changed dramatically in the last 5 years. Certainly it seems like changing more so even this past year when the settlement went through and the schools can pay the players up to $20.5 million, which was unheard of. If you told someone told you that 20 years ago, they'd be like, "There's no way the NCAA is going to go for that."
No.
And the Supreme Court said, "Well, hold on now."
And the boomers are like, "I ain't watching it. They're paying them.
I ain't watching no more." Right? Exactly.
I ain't watching.
Yeah, Dabo, I'm done coaching if they start paying the players. Well, maybe you should have, because you stink right now, and it's not looking very good for you. So we have already some coaching openings that have been open for several weeks now. If you look at Virginia Tech, they fired Brent Pry after week 2 or 3. Of course, biggest one is James Franklin got fired after the loss to UCLA. But the prior week, they took an L to Oregon at home. There's some other ones like Colorado State and who's some obvious ones I'm obviously missing.
Of course, Florida's on there.
Yeah, Florida.
UCLA's on there. Virginia Tech, Oregon State, Arkansas. These are the ones I come up with. Oklahoma State, Stanford.
Mike Dundee. Yep.
I'm 40. I'm fired.
That was 20 years ago. He's 60 now.
Man, I'm 60. I'm fired. Yeah. Stanford. You mentioned Colorado State. UAB, Trent Dilfer. That's one that surprises me because he was there 3 years.
Right.
It just seems awful quick at a place like UAB, a place that actually not too long ago, Delaney, give up football. They cut the whole program.
Sure.
And then they bring it all back.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they bring it all back, hire Trent Dilfer.
That's right.
Give him 3 years and say, well, you're not winning, you're out of here. I mean, come on, guys.
It makes you wonder if it's like there's more to it, like the AD and him, just, there's a friction or something. I don't know anything. I'm just speculating, but that's an awful quick poll. They give plenty of coaches that are awful. They gave Billy Napier 4 years. I mean,
for sure. And a way harder place to win as far as conference and all that but with Trent Dilfer, there's countless videos out there of him going bananas on the sideline on players and things like that. So he could have just been a D-bag to try to work with. And and just fire him, get rid of him. That's possible.
Let's just move on.
And then the last one I have on here is Kent State. So the longest tenure on this whole list as of right now, of course, is subject to change anytime. It's not going to change at this point. It's going to be after, we could go a week or two before having another one. I mean, because you think about everybody else that may be on this list: LSU, Florida State, Stoops at Kentucky. There's still a lot out there. Fickle, I can't believe he's still hanging in there.
By the way, we could talk about that just briefly. Their AD came out, Chris McIntosh came out with basically we're going to fund the program. We're going to support the program. That includes Coach Fickle. So I think they're all in, and they're going to end up with 2 wins this year. And an abomination. They haven't scored for 2.5 games either. So anyway, whatever Wisconsin wants to try to do, but that's a dying breed.
If you're the AD of Wisconsin and you're going to make that decision, you apparently have already sat down with Fickle and been like, listen, you're changing the whole staff. If you want to hear another year, the whole staff changes this offseason. The whole staff. And we're going to give you some money. Go hire a good staff, and then you get another year or whatever you get. Because that, like you said, obviously what happened to now is not working. And if Fickle's smart, he'll go find him an out-of-the-box OC, go scoring points. Defense is great.
Right.
Defense wins championships. Offense puts asses in the seats. That's just what's up. Nobody wants to go see you win 20-10 every weekend. If you lose 56-52,
people
still leave disappointed. But hell yeah,
Absolutely.
you're going to tune in because we want to watch those
Yeah.
track meets, right?
Right. Right.
So that's where it's at. Scoring points is what you need to do. So go get
Yeah.
an out of the box OC, hit the portal hard, get a good quarterback, and go score points, and then try to figure out the defense in the back end of that.
Yeah.
But
And yeah. In fairness to him, their starting quarterback that they've grabbed in
yeah,
22, 23, 24, and 25 have all gotten injured and missed either a few games or basically the whole season. Billy Edwards this year has only played 2 games,
right.
2 games and a few snaps. So that's hard when you don't have a quarterback play. I understand, but they have deficiencies all across the line, and they've not. Where are those 6'6", 330-pound offensive linemen they just churned out like they were in the Bama lab? They have Wisconsin
Right.
lab of
Used to be that way.
corn-fed offensive linemen. They go find a stud running back in New Jersey, a 2-star running back in New Jersey area or out east somewhere, and bring him in and run the ball, score points, conservative. So they bring in Fickle. He's like, we're going to go air raid. We're going to get those points you're talking about. Well, no, you're not, because that's not your identity. You don't have the staff to do that. You don't have the personnel to do
No.
that. You don't have the funds to do that. So you got to reset, and maybe this is their opportunity to do that. But man, they're falling way behind everyone else in the Big Ten. And maybe they're the worst team in the Big Ten. I mean,
Yeah.
right there with Purdue.
And I don't know if I would have ever said that about Wisconsin ever.
No, absolutely not. Not before, when in the 80s and before Alvarez took over, they were pretty pathetic. But you're talking about the last 30 plus years, they've been, fighting for Big Ten titles, winning Rose Bowls. They've never had that elite quarterback play other than Russell Wilson, where they're like
He
a
transferred
national
in.
title. Exactly. He transferred into NC State. He's like the kickoff of all the best transfers ever, right? Like that
Right.
seems like a long time ago at this point. And they just didn't have enough athletes and players to topple someone like Bama or Ohio State in the last 30, 35 years, whatever it's been.
Right.
So that's a lot about Wisconsin. So anyway, yeah, we have more coaches going to get fired as soon as this weekend, certainly in the next few weeks.
This is the list right now. It's a page in the front. It's going to grow. Of course, Oklahoma State was Gundy, right? He was there 21 years.
21 years.
And then Penn State was there 12. Franklin was there 12 years.
Yep.
And that is by far. And then it drops all the way down to 6 and Sam Pittman at Arkansas. So it goes from 21 to 12, cut in half basically.
Right.
Then a cut in half again to Sam Pittman at 6. And then the other 8 schools on this piece of paper is under 6 years, every single one. It's an average of 6 years per school when you add them all up and divide it into 11. So,
wow, you throw out that outlier of 20 years and maybe even the 12-year one.
It drops.
Oklahoma State's not, I mean, they've had some great teams, right? But man, like they're not, they can't overall time compete with Oklahoma, for example, right? So, Penn State's kind of been right there, just one win, one snap away from beating Michigan or Ohio State. I'm surprised that list is 6 years. The average, we're seeing more and more. That's going to continue to drop, I think, because people are less patient. Because you can flip programs around pretty quickly if you get the right coach, the right staff, the right general manager of your program to take care of all the NIL stuff, and if you have enough boosters that are willing to fund the school, you can do things like Indiana's doing. Now I know it's a little different because Cignetti's kind of a unicorn. Not all coaches are that great, that good right away, but it's possible. And if you're ever at other school, you're like, well, why can't we do this? Well, let's look what Indiana's doing. They hired the right coach. They're said, oh, we're going to pay you $93 million, whatever it was. They're paying they're paying like top 10 money for transfers and NIL stuff. So that's how you do it. I mean, you like it or not, this is what it is right now.
And in your opinion, 6 years is the average coaching span on this list.
Right.
Would you say by the time I'm done making this list in January, is that 6 years that is right now? Does that number go up or down as far as average by the time we're done?
I'm inclined to think it goes down. I'm just
I am
thinking
too.
about a few guys that are on the fence. Let's
Dabo will
say,
bring it up
well, Dabo would bring it up,
if Dabo
but Brian
goes.
Kelly would bring it down a little bit
Yes.
because is it what year 4 or 5? I forget. It's going to be
It,
borderline.
yeah. It's gonna bring it down.
If Wisconsin changes course and fires Fickle, that's going to bring it down a little bit.
Right.
Um,
Besides Dabo, I don't know. And I mean, Hugh Freeze
I
has
don't
been at
know.
Auburn for 4 or 5 years, maybe.
Right.
I'm trying to think of who else would get canned that would bring
Yeah.
that number up besides Dabo. I don't know. How long
Right.
has Norvell's 4 or 5 years at Florida State?
Yes. Right. Yep. If we're not talking about coaches, if we're just talking about coaches getting canned, there's a one coach in particular I think about, like he may just hang it up on opening. That's Kirk Ferentz at Iowa. Like he's been there since '99. He's the
That'll
longest
bring it
tenured
up.
guy. Right. That'll
Yeah.
bring that'll number up. But that's not fired coaches. That is just open jobs that he'd leave on his own.
And so I guess the question is on this
Yeah.
list, should we do coaches that get shit canned or just do
Yeah.
jobs that are open?
Yeah.
Because it's different.
That is
Dabo
different.
could leave on his own too, like Kurt Ferentz.
That's
He could
true.
be like, you know what, I don't want to
Absolutely.
bring Clemson down anymore. I'm out of here. Same as Kurt Ferentz could.
Right. Brian Kelly should consider doing that to LSU. Although
Mhm.
you're happy he just sticks around there forever.
I would. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind him there.
Well, Belichick, if he doesn't last very long, he might get
he'll
more
bring
than
it
a
way
year, I
down.
guess. But
Yeah.
he can way down.
Less
They
than a
might be
year,
tired
maybe.
of his girlfriend. Yeah. One coach we haven't talked about that's probably, if his seat's not hot, it's pretty warm, and it might get worse if they don't turn things around again. That's Mike Locksley at Maryland. He's been there for probably 7 or 8 years, something maybe a little longer actually. And they do this thing every year. September they look like gangbusters, then in October they just fall apart. And it's looking that way again this year. Now, part of that's because they have a true freshman quarterback, but also they look like who they are every year under Locksley. They continue just to
Right.
kind of slide backwards. And so Maryland may be like, this is enough. But that's a school that didn't really want to pay their basketball coach and ended up leaving. And he talked about they're not paying NIL stuff. So maybe Maryland can't afford to do that. I don't know, but they may just be stuck in mediocrity as well. But that's another coach to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and then that would be an opening, not a firing. And that's why I lean kind of doing this list as firings because
he might get fired.
Right. Lane Kiffin could leave Ole Miss and Ole Miss is open. But you don't count that because he wasn't shit canned at Ole Miss.
Right. No, because they keep him there forever.
At Georgia Tech, or same with Brom at Louisville. He's been at Louisville for a while now. So that are just jobs that may come open, but they fill another job. In which case, I don't know that I would. I'm talking about coaches that are
firing.
Yes, you're out of here, brother. Sorry,
you're out.
This isn't working.
Not
out.
on your terms. Right. We're divorced.
Yes.
Get your shit and get out.
Right. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here.
Stay here, right? Exactly. Right. Yeah, Billy Napier came home from work on Monday, and someone put a for sale sign in his yard already. That's funny.
Had a U-Haul sitting in front of the car, or in front of the house.
Right. That was not even ordered by he and his wife. It was the AD.
Nope.
Go ahead and we got you, Billy. We'll just send you out. We'll cover your moving fees. We're gonna need that house for someone else.
Get home Saturday from a big win. You're celebrating. You went and eat pizza and eat ice cream. You're home with the kids. There's 2 men in a truck sitting in front of your house. Yeah. What?
Right. It was like, is this the FBI? No, sir. We're just a couple of moving guys. We're told to show up here at 6 a.m.
Yeah. This isn't Mar-a-Lago, guys. You got to go south for that. No. You got to go south.
Right, exactly.
Go to
right. Yeah, you're way too far north.
You're too far north. You guys should have been south for this.
Oh man! All right, well, that's a great discussion. Those two things we just put it through a half an hour of that alone. Yeah. So we'll get to the picks now. So if this is your marking, if you want to start at 29 minutes of the show, we're going to start the picks here. We're going to go through the top 25 teams, and then we're going to do over/unders. The spreads, and then of course the SEC home team picks that we'll explain a little bit later. So we don't have a lot to talk about there's not this list of games this weekend, but sometimes that turns out to be like, holy cow,
happened a few
this
weeks
is
ago.
An interesting game, right? And You can start at the very top. The 11 a.m. Fox or noon Fox is UCLA, which we didn't think about this a month ago, at Indiana. Now, I don't anticipate Indiana to lose this game because they're a really great football team. They're the number 2 in the country. They look like you could say they're number 1. I wouldn't argue with you. And they're favored by 25.5 against the UCLA team who fires their coach 4 weeks ago. They go on a run, beat Penn State, beat Michigan State, beat Maryland, for example, Mike Locksley. I don't see them going into Bloomington and winning this game. 25.5 is a big number. And the total 55.5. Now man, that's tough because Indiana's defense is so legit and they're better than anything that UCLA's seen this year.
By miles.
I mean, by miles, right? On the other hand, UCLA's defense is a bit Olay as well. Geez, I don't know. That 25.5 is a big number to
What
spread.
was the over under? 55?
55.5? Yeah, 55.5.
Seems like a lot to me too. Yeah.
It does. Like, I can see Indiana just kind of getting bored and just putting this game away like they did Michigan State, 38-10, something like that. I'm going to take the under on this because I think Indiana can just kind of play with their food a little bit. I think UCLA covers that 25.5. I think they stay within 4 touchdowns. I think that's. I'm comfortable with that. I'm going to say UCLA covers the 25.5 and the under hits.
And the under. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on Indiana win the game. But we're good there. And I tell you what, I almost want to go down the line with you here.
Yeah.
Because I'm like you. I could see this easily being a 31-14 game, and Indiana just kind of cruise, or
Right.
34-14, something like that, and the under hits. But it's never
it's never a close game. Basically, it could have been 70-0. Yeah, 100-0 didn't matter. Yeah.
But UCLA is playing. I mean, of course, it's who they're playing to.
Sure.
But they're playing really good football.
They are.
Now.
They are.
They're playing good football. And Joffrey Brathwaite, he may poison Cignetti because he's not above that.
Yes, right, exactly. Right.
And the next thing you know, you got a football team without a coach out there.
Oh, you think it's going to be, it's not the imp. It's not him.
It's not him. No, he said it's not for sure. I mean, he only shoots his dad on toilets.
That's right, exactly right.
So why not trust him?
I don't see no crossbows coming into the stadium. I don't think.
But golly, I kind of want to be different, but I'm gonna go down the line because my gut tells me you're right on this. UCLA covers and the under hits, but Indy wins outright. I'm gonna go down the line with you. I was trying to be different on this game, but the more I look at it, the more I listen to you, the more I think you're right on this. So. But
it just seems,
what the hell do we know, right?
What the hell do we know? Yeah, exactly. Mind you, what the hell do we know? And you'll see that this is episode 9.2.
Yeah, you ain't got it already. You ain't gonna get it.
This is the 18th week of this shit. So do what you want with that information. The next game, actually, I should pull this up. I'm sharing that. I'll share the screen here. Is come on now. Is the Ole Miss Oklahoma game. We'll talk about that one. That's irrelevant. Top 25 teams. 2 teams are, still in playoff hunt. Both have tough losses, but like respectable losses as well. I'm gonna let you kick this off. OU's favored by 4.5. Over under 54.5. This is played in Norman.
I like Ole Miss. Give me Ole Miss straight up on this. I don't trust the Oklahoma offense to score enough to beat Ole Miss, and I don't give a shit where they play. I think Lane Kiffin's going to ring the bell, and I don't think, even though the Ole Miss defense is not good, but the Oklahoma offense is not anywhere close to what Georgia brings to the table. And
no, absolutely not.
Not even in the same stratosphere. So I think Ole Miss can get some stops where they couldn't last week. I think they do this week. So give me Ole Miss. Give me the under though.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think they cover the 4.5. So I think they cover Yeah, well, they went outright. Never mind. They went
Yeah,
outright.
right, right,
I was
yeah,
thinking
right.
look at that
Yeah,
backwards. Yeah, sorry.
you
So
said
yeah,
that. You said that.
yeah. So Ole Miss wins straight out, and then give me the under on this one. I think it's going to be something like 31 to 20, or
Okay.
yeah, something like, or 28 to 20, or 28-17, 31-20, something along those lines. But Ole Miss, I think Ole Miss just rings the bell. I think it's too much, even though the OU defense is elite.
Yeah.
If Chambliss, the way Chambliss moved the ball 5 straight times for 5 straight touchdowns against a pretty decent Georgia defense, I think he rings
Right.
the bell against OU's defense as well.
Right. Yep.
Hell,
Uh,
if Texas could put up 23, you ain't going to
right.
convince me Trinidad Chambliss ain't putting up at 23,
Absolutely.
at least 23 to high 20s, low 30s. So yeah,
Right. I'm with you. I'm going to take Ole Miss to win it outright too. I'm going to go with the over of the 54.5. I think that because Chambliss can put some points up. I think Oklahoma's going to, Ole Miss is going to have to do most of the work to get to that 54.5. I just don't believe in Oklahoma's run offense or ability for Mateer to throw the ball down the field. And that's going to be problematic eventually. And it maybe come back to bite them again this week. So I'm going to take Ole Miss. We're going to be like a 35, let's see, 35. Let's think 35-21. That gets me just
to the
after the
over.
hook, right? 35 to
Yeah,
the over.
right.
Yeah. The hook.
Gotcha.
I get it. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Over by the half. All right. So roll down. Alabama playing at South Carolina. I don't know that there's too much to get worried about there if you're Alabama. South Carolina's looked pretty putrid, and that's a coach that, may not have an employment this time next year.
That's an
A
underrated.
month
That's
from
an
now.
under the radar coaching change right there of South Carolina. No
Yep.
one's talking about Shane Beamer in South
Mm-mm.
Carolina, but the year he's
Nope.
having, and the dumpster fire that is South Carolina football right now, don't be surprised if job's open.
Right. That stadium was pretty empty last week against, they're
Right.
playing Oklahoma top 10. This is not going to be pretty. I assume Alabama. Now, Alabama's only favored by 11.5, which that number, my first thought is that a misprint? That seems like that should be a lot higher.
Should be 2 touchdowns in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I'm inclined. I'm going to take Alabama to cover that 11.5. I think it under hits too. I don't see South Carolina scoring more than maybe 10 to 14. Man, does that mean that Alabama gets in the third? I'm going to say hit under hits. I'm going to say like 35-10 Bama.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go down the line, but I'm going to take the over, and because I watched Mateer move the ball on South Carolina, and OU score points
with 9 digits.
Yeah, right. And I think Ty Simpson and Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard, and now you get Jam Miller another week healthier. I just think they do whatever they want on offense. I think they're going to do whatever they want on offense until they get in front of a team like Indiana or Ohio State, someone that could even come close to slowing them down. I just don't think there's any defenses out there that, the way Ty Simpson's playing, he's going to be in New York.
Yes.
And I just, with those skill receivers and the O line getting better, Proctor running the ball at 367 pounds, dude running the. I don't know anyone can slow him down enough. Yeah, it's so great. Even though it's a Bammer, but it's still so funny.
It's so funny.
Until they get in front of someone like that, which is probably going to be a national semifinal game or a national championship game, I don't know anyone holds them under 30. I don't know who does it, because they have already shown they can be there. No. So give me the over. I think they win this game like 35-20.
Okay.
38-14, 38-20, something like that. And Lenore Sellers makes some plays against the Bama defense that'll give up some plays, but just not near enough to be in this ball game.
Sure. Right. And I think this game gets over pretty quickly too.
I do too.
That's the 3:30 Eastern time on the ABC game. Next one, another big one, if you will. I've said this ever before in my life. Missouri, big game in Nashville against Vanderbilt. Number 10, Vanderbilt. First time they've been ranked in the 10 or top 10 since like late 40s, I think it was 1948, 9, something like that. It's been a minute.
Right.
Before we were way before, hell, before our parents were.
Right. And
Actually, how old's your dad?
today he is let's say 56, so would it be 7
At least
what is he?
70?
Is he 70?
Yeah,
50,
I guess
no,
so.
he's 50. He was born in 54, 55. Yeah, so maybe 70.
Okay.
You know what? I don't know.
There
I
you go.
meant to even ask him. He's got years. After so long, it doesn't even matter anymore, right?
Didn't matter,
Who cares
right?
anymore? It's just
Exactly.
a year. That's what he says. Like, I don't care.
Right.
It's another year. It's
Whatever. Right.
I'll take this game first. And what we'll do when we do these picks,
Yeah, please.
let's
Okay.
alternate.
Okay. Yeah.
One or the other, one or the other, one or the other. That way we're not just following each other, right? College game day is going to be in Nashville this weekend.
Yes. Also a weird thing to say.
Weird thing to say in Nashville. So over off Broadway, McAfee's going to be drunk AF by 11:30.
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely.
So,
right.
All right, Missouri at Vanderbilt. I believe in Diego Pavia. I think they win this game too. I do. If you're good enough to beat LSU at home, you're good enough to beat Missouri. Even though I think Missouri's better on offense than LSU, but not as good as defense as LSU's is. But I'm on the Diego Pavia train, man. I think the kid's a baller. He's a gamer, and he just makes plays, and he wills his team to win. I don't think they're going to lose I don't think they're going to lose in Nashville this year. I think they're going to probably run the table at home. I don't know if they've lost at home. I don't think so. The only loss they have, I think, is at Bama.
That's Alabama. That's it.
Yeah,
they're 6-1.
And that's fine. That's a whatever loss. I don't think they're going to lose again until they're away from home, away from Nashville. Yes, for sure. Yeah, they had chances in that game. Give me the under, though. I'll take the under. And then, obviously, Vandy's they're a little bit of a dog. Yeah, just a little bit, 2.5, which is not much. That's less than a field goal.
No, Vandy's favored by 2.5. Yeah.
Favorite. Oh, they are. Yeah, minus. So, minus 2.5. So I read that wrong. Yep. So minus 2.5. So favored. I think they cover that then. Yeah, they'll cover, and I'll take the under at 52.5.
Yeah. Okay. I think Vandy covered. I agree. I think they win this game. I think that the way over hits. I'm seeing like a 35-31 Vandy win. I just believe in them. I think it's going to be a fun game. That's going to be up and down the field. Pavia making plays, striking the Heisman pose again, maybe, perhaps. What's good for him? Like whatever. Like that's awesome for the sport, right? You know, like no star kid ends up at Vanderbilt, stays at Vanderbilt, ends up in New York in December, whether he gets the trophy or not, whatever. But he's in the dance. So
just being there,
all right,
as a Vandy quarterback,
absolutely, right, absolutely.
Clark Lea is a goner. If you're going to leave Clark Lea, man, it's got to be this year. You're going to have so many jobs to go to.
Choices, right? By the way, I don't know how true this is. I read some blurbs. I don't know where it was. Florida's top option and they want to go after is, of course, Kiffin. Also, the names being bandied around is Drinkwitz, and then who's the last one I heard? Which
I hope they hire Eli Drinkwitz.
Oh, Jed
Please
Fish was another one.
Cornball.
Right? Yeah, right. Jed Fish at Washington is who. You know, I like Fish as a offensive coordinator. He had a really great offense when he was at Michigan with Harbaugh in the first couple of years. But Washington's a good program right now. They're struggling away from they've won no games on the road in the Big Ten the first 2 years they've been there. So there's that, and they get Illinois at home this weekend. By the way, so
is Washington a better job than Florida? Maybe it's my Tennessee bias kicking in here. The recruiting base is nowhere close in Washington as it is Florida.
No,
but there's a lot to be said.
It's a nicer place to live,
for sure.
Seattle's a better place to live. It has some history. I would say probably not. I would say most people would rank Florida ahead of Washington, but times are changing now, right? And Washington is certainly a more stable athletic department right now than Florida is. So there's that.
Something to be said
if you
for
want
that.
to go with that. So, right. right? So if you want to come in and you're the guy that puts things back together and heals everybody, it's well. But you can also come into a dumpster fire and jump in and not have a suit on to protect yourself from that fire and just burn with
Well,
everybody else.
it's a matter of if a coach, what kind of coach is Fish? Does he want to rebuild? Is he a
Sure.
rebuilder? Because you'd have to rebuild Washington because Kalen DeBoer left that in very good health whenever you took over.
Right.
So
Right.
it's not a question. He didn't have to take over and build a roster and build a program from the ground up. That's what you're doing at
No.
Florida
Right.
essentially. You're taking
Yeah.
over
Right.
an absolute run of 4 or 5 coaches that failed and washed out, and you're taking over. Who knows who all hits the portal, especially nowadays, because all those kids know
Exactly.
we can hit the
Right.
portal and play immediately. There's no waiting a year or anything like that anymore. We're going to go wherever we want
Yep.
to. So it just makes me wonder: is he the type of coach that wants to just take over somewhere or go somewhere he can be successful quickly, or is he going to take lumps at a couple years at Florida but have a higher ceiling? Which one does he want to do?
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
That's tough. Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Agree. I don't imagine that Florida will get down that far. Haven't even had that conversation. But since we're on the topic, Illinois travels to Washington. Illinois was off last weekend. Michigan, of course, beat Washington 24-7 in Ann Arbor. 2-5-2 teams. This is the 3:30 Eastern Time Big Ten Network game. Washington's favored by 4.5. The total over under is 54.5. I'll start this one here. Uh, It's tough because Washington plays really well at home, unless they're playing Ohio State, which is, most
Yeah,
teams
well,
would agree with that.
right.
Yeah, yeah. They have one of the most dynamic trios of players in the backfield for and the wide receiver. Washington, the defense is it's okay. They're just a bunch of guys, right? Illinois' offense has been, can be explosive. They have also, been struggling a little bit. Washington, they're both teams are like, especially Illinois, have opportunity to make a nice run here. Now, I don't know if they have the schedule to be able to get back in the game. Although actually Washington does because they play USC and Oregon later in the season too. So they have some marquee games coming up left. Yeah. I like Washington to win this game. Illinois is a little different team on the road. I do think this will be close. I'm going to have Illinois covering that 4.5. That's going to be a really close game. 54.5 is the number that I'm going to say the under. I'm going to say it's Washington 27-24.
I wonder now. This is a de facto playoff elimination game for the Big Ten
100%. 100%.
because they're both sitting at 5-2, and you ain't getting in this playoff with 3 losses. You're just not
Nope.
doing it.
Nope.
So
Nope.
unless you win a conference with 3 losses, which doesn't, from what you can tell right now, is probably not going to happen either.
No, a lot would have to unfold.
Yeah, it would be like a Big 12 or someone like that has 3.
Right. Yes.
Which it doesn't like it's going to go that way. So this is whichever one of these teams lose this game is out of the playoff. So now you're playing for holiday
100%.
bowls and citrus bowls and outback bowls and shit like that. So
Some Duke Mayo bowls.
right, exactly. So know where you want to go.
Bert Bielema would probably like that. He likes mayo, I'm guessing.
Get poured all over him.
Yes,
it puts the mayo on its skin. I'll have a boy handle back here.
Looking on. Say on the.
Yeah. I'll take Washington as well, only because they're at home. If this game was in Champaign, I'd take Illinois.
100%, I would agree with that.
Yep. So give me Washington to win. I'll take, but you know what? Just to be contrary, I'll take Washington to cover it. Because and I'm taking the over as well, but we agree on Washington. But I'm gonna take them to cover that 4.5.
Sure. I mean that's not a huge number to cover, right? I mean they have some guys could be explosive.
Sure.
And they Illinois has shown that their secondary and can be got. And Denzel Boston's a great wide receiver. Damon Williams could get the ball down to him. I think this might be one of those higher scoring games, certainly in the 20s. Now, yeah, I think this will be a good matchup. This will be a good one to watch, I think, too. And at this
And
point, if you have 2 losses, you are playing every game you play left is a playoff game, basically.
back against the
You
wall.
know? That's
That's it.
yeah, right, right.
And
So
now
that should be
Illinois
motivating.
travels. So now Washington traveled to
Yes,
Michigan last week. Now Illinois gets to travel across the country to Washington to play, and that makes a difference.
right,
So
right. Yep. So at least the good thing for them is that it's only a 2:30 body clock when they're
right,
playing
yeah,
it.
it's not a big deal. Yeah,
That's not too big deal,
just to
right?
travel. You got to spend 2-3 hours,
Yeah,
3
it's
hours,
just
3.5 hours on a plane
that's
from
probably three,
Champaign
at
to
least 3 hours.
Seattle.
I bet. Yeah.
So
Yep.
wherever they fly out of.
I bet so. All right. Texas Tech should murder Oklahoma State. Baylor, Cincinnati. Not to get too excited about there. Um, Texas, Mississippi State. Like again, we said this last week. Mississippi State had an opportunity to go into the swamp and get a big win, and then they just crap their pants with an opportunity to get close and kick a field goal to beat Florida. Is this the time they get that win that Jeff Lebby really, really needs and really, really like to say, look, we are turning things around. We are a
Right.
good program. I think this might be the time they can do it. Texas favored by 7.5. Over under is 45.5. I'll let you start.
So
I think
yeah,
I
yeah,
started the
you're
last
good.
one.
You're
Yeah.
good. I was just it because whenever I did these notes today at lunch, it was 6.5 Texas and 44.5 over under. So those have moved
Okay, so it's numbered a little bit. Okay,
since 12 o'clock Eastern. Those have moved
all
because
right.
that's
So
when I
then,
did these notes. So a lot of money coming in. All right, I'm gonna take Texas straight up. I don't think Mississippi State wins this game. I don't. Yes, Texas is not good on offense, but I think Arch is the Mississippi State defense is not good. So Arch will
yeah,
make hay against this defense. And being even though it's in Starkville and you got the cowbells going and all that, and Tennessee will tell you that's a tough place to play. I just
absolutely.
don't. At this point, I don't believe Mississippi State wins an SEC game until I see them win an SEC game. So any SEC game that coming in from here on out, I'm picking against Mississippi State until they win one. That is the
That's
strategy for
fair. That's
Chris.
fair.
So, spoiler
No, they're an
alert,
offer,
I ain't
so
picking them the
just
rest of the rest of the way. I think
you
it's
only
the
picked three.
under, but
Yeah, we picked them to win.
yeah, I think it's the under because I think the Texas offense is no good, and I
Right.
think the Texas defense is really good. The Mississippi State offense is okay, and their defense is terrible, but they won't have to be all that good to hold Texas down. So the 45.5. I mean, I could easily see this being a 20-17 or 21-14 or 24-14 game, a low scoring.
Sure.
Texas gets in the mid 20s and they don't play well doing it. They just hold Mississippi State out of the end zone a lot. So I'll take that, and then but I will take Mississippi State. I'll tell you what. No, Texas will cover. I'll take Texas to cover that 7.5 because I think they win
Okay.
by probably 10. I just don't think Mississippi State can score enough points against that Texas defense to keep it within 10 points. So I'll take Texas
Sure.
to cover.
And hit the under, right? You said the under will hit.
And the under, yes, and hit the
Okay.
under
Okay.
of 45.5.
Gotcha. All right. I'm going quite the opposite. I'm going with this is the first win Mississippi State gets at home. They win
I love
outright.
it.
This is an opportunity for now. Part of the reason I said is one, Mississippi State competed with Tennessee pretty well. They competed on the road with Florida as a good defense pretty well. They made some critical errors in both of those games. I just watched Texas kind of falter their way to 5-2 and need overtime to beat a pretty poor Kentucky team in Lexington. Now, I'm not saying that Mississippi State's a better team than Kentucky or whatever, but I just think it's this is it for the 5-2 team. This is it for Texas as well. I think Mississippi State wins. The under hits. It's going to be like a 23-17 Mississippi State.
Nice. Yeah. But I like the different. This is so whenever we do the review show and we go through all this, it's going to be interesting come Sunday because we
Yes,
went
it
different on
will.
quite a bit of these, which is great. I love it. So
Yeah, absolutely. Um, there's not much to talk about Wisconsin, Oregon, other than will Oregon cover the 33.5? That's the only thing we should talk about. The 44.5 is ridiculous. That's got to be hit the over, right? I mean, I guess
oh
pick
yeah,
one or the other. Which one's more likely to hit? Do you think
oh
the
the over.
spread or the over under?
The over
Yeah,
1000%.
yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me. Oregon covers that just on their own.
No, exactly. Right, right. Which I just don't see Wisconsin scoring at all. I must say Oregon covers both. I think they end up winning like 53 to nothing, 53 to 3, maybe something like that. Wisconsin is so putrid and can't do anything at home. They're not going to go to Alton and and challenge this Dan Lanning team out of nowhere. This may not be quite as bad. Actually, you know what? It might be worse than what happened to Wisconsin, what Oregon did to Rutgers last weekend. I had 750 yards of offense, 56 points, and just played with their food in the first quarter, basically.
Is it going to be
Yeah, Oregon
worse?
covers all that.
Is it going to be worse than what Indiana did to Illinois?
Okay, then that's a question. Um,
Because that was an absolute domination and
that was
bloodbath right there.
63 to 10. That's going to be
Yeah.
hard to beat that. That's a 53 points. I'm going to say not quite that bad
No.
and score wise, but it might as well be. I mean, once you get, 4 or 5 touchdowns more, 6 touchdowns
Doesn't really
more,
matter past that,
it's
does it?
just doesn't matter, right? Yeah, exactly. No,
Yeah,
I
I'm with
think
you.
this is going to be a bad thing. And well, if Luke Fickle's happy, like he can fly home happy, going to get paid and going to get another year, it looks like. So it doesn't really matter. Um, Miami covers the 29.5 against Stanford.
No.
No.
No. I'm going to say no.
I'm not saying Miami are frauds, but yeah, you say no. Okay.
I'm going to say no. The only reason why is I think Beck plays better, but I don't. I don't. Is this game in Coral Gables or out
30
in
points is
Stanford?
a lot. Yeah, it's Coral Gables.
Coral Gables? Yeah, they might then, but it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't. I'm going to say no still.
That's a big number.
I think they
Right.
sleepwalk their way through this game.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them winning 35-13, something like that.
Right.
I just don't see that. I think Stanford covers that 29.5. 30 points is a lot for a team that just lost to Virginia at home. I don't see that happening. So maybe the biggest game of the weekend. You want to kick this one off too, if you want. Texas A&M, number 3 Texas A&M at Corn Dog U. Is that what you call it? LSU, number 20 LSU.
Yeah.
A&M 7-0, and LSU's fighting for their lives and some for their jobs. Sitting there at 5-2. Some people had picked LSU to win the whole thing before the year started, and that's looking quite unlikely, but not impossible. They, backs against the wall. They need to make a run here, but they have a hell of a schedule, and it starts 6:30 or 7:30 Eastern time on ABC. Yeah, A&M favored by 2.5. Total over under 47.5. What say ye?
The LSU not game record is insane. They've won so many in a row at not in Baton Rouge. It's a really hard place to play at not. The problem is this LSU team don't hold up their end of the bargain when it comes to winning at not there. So I'm going to take A&M to go on the road to beat LSU. I think that the under hits 47.5 is what I have it at. That was at 12 o'clock. Again, it's 12 o'clock Eastern, so that's not moved. So that's good.
It's still same.
I think it's under because I think at night down there, the LSU defense, LSU's going to be inspired. I just think Marcel Reed and Craver and those guys make enough plays to win. Moss runs the ball well enough to make enough plays to get it done. The Texas A&M defense is really good, and they don't have to be as good as they are to stop LSU.
No,
they don't have to be. So I'm going to take A&M to win outright. I think the under hits, and I think A&M covers because it's only 2.5. So, they're favored by 2.5. So, I think they cover that 2.5. Exactly. Yeah, they cover that 2.5 because they'll win by 6-7 points. So give me A&M, and I'll take them like like 24-17, 24, 24-20, something along that line, low
Sure.
20s, high teens for it. They both may get in the 20s, 24-21 maybe. But I trust Reed in that offense to get enough points way more than I ever trust the
Oh,
LSU offense to be able to score enough to beat A&M. And I don't care where they play this game.
absolutely. Right. I agree. I think A&M covers that 2.5 comfortably as well. I know LSU's down there in the Bayou. They're tough to beat there. This is a really, really, really good, perhaps great Texas A&M team. This will be another opportunity for them to show just who they are going down to win. I mean, LSU's LSU. They're still going to put up a fight. I just see A&M winning this game. They certainly cover that 2.5. I'm going to say it's the over hits because I'm just going to be like a 28 to 23 game. I just it'll be close back and forth because A&M can be got a little bit on defense. They showed that last weekend against Arkansas.
Yeah,
Um,
well, Taylor Green
so,
ain't running
but
out for
that's
Arkansas,
the
bro.
grades, right? Exactly. That's true. Right. Yeah. That's a good point. So I'm going to say 27-23. A&M covers, over hits.
Yeah. The problem is there is Taylor Green and Bobby Petrino calling plays. LSU has neither.
Sure.
And with this third
No.
loss, that will officially eliminate LSU from playoff contention. And then you have to start to wonder, does the LSU administration get tired of Brian Kelly going to the Citrus Bowl and Outback Bowl and all those Music City Bowls? Is
Right.
that what they
So you'll
want at
play Iowa
LSU?
again?
Because yeah, because you're eliminated after this third loss.
Absolutely. Right. And you have more losses coming too, because you have other different games, including
Yes,
Oklahoma at the end of the
absolutely.
year too. So
Right.
yeah. I think this game, especially if A&M comes in and just really throttles LSU, which is not out of the question, honestly.
No.
I think the seat is really hot, and that's the top
At
news of the
home,
weekend and through the week. Yeah, right. Again, yeah. If A&M wins 35-10 or something like that, I think things really start to heat up and down there, and he might be on the list too. The new coaches,
you
new
can't
coaches
lose
meeting,
that
and
game like that at home. But if I told you,
so
if I didn't tell you the teams, if I didn't tell you who won, I guess, and I told you after the game, the LSU A&M score was 38-14, you automatically would think who won.
there ain't no way you're keeping. That's a good LSU defense, but you ain't keeping them to 14 points. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I think this line is not big enough, but what the hell do we know?
right.
At least two more games here to pick. These are near and dear to our heart. I'll start with the one, and you start with the Michigan State. I'll start with Tennessee, Kentucky.
Okay. Did you start last time or me?
I'm not sure, but we just flip it
All right.
because of our
Who it
teams
is?
or whatever, just for the hell of it.
Well,
Yeah.
and then also I've got Auburn, Arkansas on here too for our SEC picks. So
Oh yeah,
we
yeah,
could,
absolutely. Yep. Okay.
yeah, we could probably hit that real quick because that's going to be,
Yeah.
that one is, where's that at? Is that in Arkansas? I think it is.
I
No, that's in
feel like it
Arkansas.
is.
Yeah, that's in Fayetteville. Yep,
Okay.
that's in Fayetteville.
That's I tell you what that is. That's a Hugh Freeze. You may be on the list kind of thing too. you know. What is that? What's the spread on that one? I don't have that pulled up
So,
right now.
oh, you're good. Yeah, you can stay in the top 25 there. So this is neither one of these teams obviously are top 25. So it's Auburn
Right.
Auburn at Arkansas in Fayetteville, over under 47 and a half. I'm sorry, no, 57 and a half. Lots
Okay,
of
that's
points. They're
better. That
saying,
sounds
yeah,
more
yeah,
like
that
it.
sounds better than
Yeah,
47, right? Take the over all day long, 47, but 57 and a half.
absolutely.
Arkansas favored by 2.5.
I'm taking Arkansas to win this game.
Yeah, me too.
I and 2.5. I think they cover the 2.5 because they're going to put up some points. They're going to put up in the 30s.
Yeah.
57.5. Can Jackson Arnold get to
That's the
30
problem,
as
right?
well?
Is Auburn going to contribute enough even against an Arkansas defense
Right.
that absolutely sucks? to get to
Right.
57 and a
Now,
half because that game's got to
I'd
get
be
played in
surprised.
the high
I'd
20s, low 30s at that point by Auburn.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, man, that 50, man, that 47 sounded much better, didn't it?
Yeah, I
Um,
did. I'll go over on that every day of the week though.
I'm gonna say, damn it, Arkansas wins, covers, and the under hits.
Yeah,
Just
I'm with
because
you.
I don't think um, Auburn can do their part to help get to that 57.
I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, I think Arkansas wins this one. I can see it being like 30, 34 to 20,
Sure.
something like that, 31-24, right around in there. Because Auburn defense is pretty decent. They're pretty salty.
Yeah,
And if it was on the
right, exactly,
plains,
right.
yeah, if it was on the plains, I'd almost go
I
Auburn.
might, yes, right. Agree. Yeah, because they'd probably be favored by,
Yeah,
3, 2, maybe.
right.
All right.
Okay. So Michigan State.
Yeah.
14
So
and a half
Michigan's
Michigan.
favored
Ooh.
by 14 and a half. Yep.
Yep. Over
47 and a
under
half
47 and a half,
total.
right? And yes.
Mm-hmm.
And this game is, where's this game at?
This is in East Lansing,
In
Michigan.
East Lansing.
That's the
Okay. I don't
7:30
think that matters
Eastern
though.
Peacock.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think this either. I think it's another good Bryce Underwood game. Away from Michigan Stadium. Can you be a good quarterback away from Michigan Stadium? That's what Bryce Underwood
Mm-hmm.
needs to prove now. Now, it's Michigan State, but it ain't about who he's playing now so much as it's about confidence. Can you
Mm-hmm.
play at a high level away from Ann Arbor? Can you do that? Because if you can do that, because I don't know that he's done it all year yet, right? I mean, as far as being as good
He had a
away from
good
Ann
game
Arbor than
at Nebraska. No,
yeah,
certainly not better. Certainly, the game he played at Nebraska was pretty good. But no, he certainly didn't play well at OU. That was not really his
right,
fault. And then the USC game was a disaster on
yeah.
all levels, special teams, offense,
So
defense.
I think this is a nice game for him to get comfortable on the road. I guess is what I'm getting at. As far as being comfortable, making the throws and all that, they're going to run the ball. Michigan's going to get whatever they want on offense against Michigan State. Michigan State's terrible, so this should be a game Michigan covers. I'll take Michigan to cover the 14 and a half because I don't believe in Michigan State at all. I think they win outright. I think they cover the 14 and a half, but I think I'll take the under yet again. I'll take the under because I think Michigan's defense will do a good job against Michigan State because I don't believe Michigan State offense at all. They're pretty good, but this Michigan defense is on another level. So I'll take the under. I think they win it. I think they win it like 27, like 27-20, just under. The hook gets me, right? 27-20, 27 to 17, something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I think they cover. So if they cover, they're going to win by more than that. So well, actually, I'm gonna take the over then because I think they cover that 14 and a half. So I'm gonna change my mind on the fly here. I'm gonna audible this.
Audible,
So
you're audible.
I'm gonna
Okay,
audible.
right.
Yep. So I'm gonna take the over because I
Going
think
to what?
Michigan covers that 14 and a half, but I think Michigan gets in the high 20s, low 30s in this game. So give me the over then. I'll take the over. Michigan covers and wins outright, of course.
All right. I've seen this game before, so here's what's going to happen. Michigan State has been working towards this game since July, and they have a July drive in their bag that's going to come out. They're going to Aiden Childs is going to look good. He's going to hit Nick Marsh, who's a great wide receiver, by the way, 6'3", 200 pounds, strong, physical, fast. They hit him a couple times. They get 7 quick points on their initial drive. 1, because that's what they do, because they've been looking for this, a scripted drive. 2, because Michigan struggles against teams on the opening drive on defense. I'm going to say that Michigan's going to win this game. I feel mildly comfortable with that. I don't think that they cover, though. I think this game plays, and you said the number I said, it's going to be 27 to 17. So Michigan State covers that 14 and a half, maybe even backdoorish. I'm not sure. They 27-17, and so then the under hits as well. Michigan State's defense is putrid. Michigan should be able to run the ball. Michigan State's given up 4.5 yards per carry against everyone. And Michigan's averaging, depending who's running the ball, Justice Haynes, if he's able to play, he's averaging about 8 yards a carry. And then Jordan Marshall averaged about 5.5 yards a carry. They're getting their top 2 tight ends back, who are better blockers than they have this, and they're better receivers. They're getting some guys back on defense that didn't play, like 3 guys on defense that played last week. So I like them to win this game. Again, I believe when I see it kind of thing, like you and Mississippi State, I've seen Michigan go in this game and be favored and, kind of fall flat and, come out. It's going to be like 13-7 at halftime, 13-10 at halftime. And then Michigan will make a few plays in the second half to kind of put it away. But I think this game's closer than I'd like it to be. And I hope I'm just being a Debbie Downer, but I've seen this game before. Michigan typically doesn't lose to bad Michigan State teams. They typically only lose to good Michigan State teams. You can go back all the way to the 1950s to see that out. Good being 2 or less losses for Michigan
Right.
State, which they're 3-4, so that clearly not. So, yeah, that's my 27-17. Michigan State covers, under hits.
Cool. Yep. I can see
All
the
right.
game going like that.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna kick. It's just how it is. It's weather permitting, it may be something like that too. Like that just makes it kind of a slugfest. And those also will be some personal fouls. There'll be at least 1 or 2 personal
Right.
fouls, and perhaps an ejection. And certainly someone's going to swing a helmet or a fist or something. It's one or the other, or spearing or something. Something nefarious will happen. That I'm sure of. That should be over under on that number of personal fouls. All right. So near and dear to your heart, big rivalry. Tennessee, 17th ranked Tennessee, 5-2, travels to Lexington, Kentucky. What is that? 4-hour drive, 3-hour drive?
About 3, yeah.
How far
It's not too
that
bad.
is. 3
It's not
hours,
too
yeah.
bad.
This is 7:45 Eastern time, SEC network game. Man, I don't think, when's that 7:45? That's awful late. It's like an old man said.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's
good for you because you get plenty of time to get home and settle in, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm lucky. This Saturday I get off at
Yep.
1, so I'll be able to get off at 1.
Oh,
Shelby has
she's
a
cheesecake.
Yep, she has a competition at a local high school here in town, Alcoa High School. So she goes at 6:20. So I will watch her
Okay.
go for 10 minutes, and then I will get in my car and I will blast home and be in my
Fly.
recliner with a nice bourbon in my hand by 7:45 watching kickoff. That is the plan.
Yeah. So, and if you're not quite there, if there's a little traffic, will you start the game late, or are you going to be watching on your phone as you go?
No,
Because I
I'll start
know
the
how
game
you
late.
are when you get away. Okay, you can
Yeah.
a few minutes late, you can stomach. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All
I'll
right.
just I'll put it on
so-
I'll put it on record, and then when I leave the house and then to go watch her, because I get up at once, I'll come home, and then we'll leave and go over there at
Yeah.
5:30, 5:45, get there, watch the game, watch the competition, watch her go for 10 minutes, and then I'll get out of there and then be home. And hopefully by kickoff, if it's not, I just record it. Then once I catch up with commercial breaks, I'll be up to date. So
That's kind of nice, actually, right? You got to make sure you don't look at your phone. No one's texting you. You don't get an ESPN. Oh, the score update, nothing like that. Just turn your phone off or put it down in the kitchen or somewhere. So Tennessee's favored by 9.5, and the total over under is 54.5. I'm going to kick this off, and I'm going to say that Tennessee easily covers that 9.5. Kentucky played really well against Texas, but that's a Texas offense that's pretty putrid, I think. Tennessee's going to hit in the 30s, if not 40s. I don't see how Kentucky could even come close to covering that 9.5. Whether it's in Lexington or not. I'm going to say Tennessee, and then they cut the over is going to hit too. I like Tennessee to win 42-20, 42-20.
Gotcha. I obviously I think UT wins, because if there's one thing that is true, but there's several things in this world that's true. Okay. One thing is the sun rises in the east. This is true.
Mm-hmm.
The other, Tennessee beats Kentucky. This is true.
Yeah.
Florida beats Tennessee in Gainesville. This is just true things. True things that happen.
At least in the last quarter century, right?
Yes. Right. So the sun's a little bit longer than that coming up in the east, but overall you get the
perhaps.
gist, right? There are things that are absolute
Yes.
truths in life, and those things are absolute truths in life. So, but I think UT wins. I'll take Kentucky to cover. I don't feel as good about it only because I don't trust the defense. Kentucky had 350, 360 something yards against a good Texas defense. Um, so I just don't trust this defense to be able to hold Kentucky at bay that much. I think Kentucky's going to probably score in the mid high 20s. I think we're in the 30s. Like I said again, besides you left 30 on the field in Tuscaloosa, so you should have had it there, but you didn't.
Right.
So you can't count
Right.
it. But I think we're in the 30s every game, and I don't
Oh yeah.
think this Kentucky defense is even comparable at all to the Alabama defense. So I think we're in the
No.
30s. I
Hell
think
no.
we get whatever we want, but I think Kentucky backdoor covers it. I think this game is feeling. If you're a Tennessee fan, you're watching it, and it's a little bit. It's just enough where if they scored one more touchdown, you're rolling, but they don't quite do it because they have 10 penalties a game.
Because
Tennessee
they decided to
does.
run the ball.
Yeah, just shit always seems to happen,
And
and
he's
so you're like, if you just get a touchdown, I can watch
10
another
penalties
game.
for 130 yards.
Right. It's
Right.
just
Right.
something always
Yeah.
is like there. So there, it's just right there on the cusp of being a blowout and being up 20 or 24, 27, and it just stays in that 14-ish range, 17 range, and then Kentucky at there late in the
Yeah.
fourth quarter gets a touchdown to make it 10 or make it 7 or make it 8, just something like that,
Right.
right? So give me Tennessee
Right.
to win outright for sure. I'm like you with the over. I think the over hits. I think 54 and a half is laughable as an over under.
That's Tennessee will do a lot of that work. Yeah.
Right, for sure, for sure. And then, but I think Kentucky backdoor covers at 9.5.
All right. That's fair. Yeah. That's kind of how I think we both agree on how the games are going to go for our teams.
Yeah,
I think we've seen this play before, right? We've seen this game. We've seen this movie against a rivalry.
right.
That's about it for the the games that are important on our radar and on the national landscape, especially with coaching and stuff. So now we have something to discuss further, gambling, and that is
We do. Real
CP's
money.
Chris Picks.
Real money involved in
Real money,
this.
right? Right.
So for those that don't know, how we do this is over the last 5 years, the SEC is 70% winning percentage on their home turf, winning the football game only, not against the spread or anything like that, straight up winning. Um, and so far, through 8 weeks, the winning percentage, we are 32-13, 71.1% winning percentage. So the math is
Right
there.
on.
Like it's dead nuts, man. It's of
It's
course
just
I don't know
right
why I'm
on.
surprised because it's math. Well, math generally does that kind of type of thing, right? Statistics are there for a
Right.
reason. Don't tell the whole story, but that gives you a good starting block, right? So last week we go 4-4, which is 50%. So we lose money. All of the favorites won on their home field. All of the underdogs lost on their home field. So we lost $84 on the
Yep.
underdog side. The 4 favorites was not enough to offset the $84. We started the year at $147. We're sitting now in the bank $120.19. So we're down $26.81 year to date. That's through 8 weeks. So like we
Okay.
kind of said last show, that's a great winning percentage, but it's not good enough on home underdogs. That's where we're lacking. Home
Not on
favorites
money
are
lines.
doing their
Yep.
part.
Exactly.
Home underdogs are not doing their part. So
Right.
this week, 7 games. The math on that is $17 a game. That left $1 and some change in the bank after I was done. So
They ain't doing that. He's doing that
no,
draft math.
no, I'm not doing it. So we got OU over Ole Miss, Arkansas over Auburn, Vandy over Missouri. Those are the 3 favorites, by the way. All 3 of those
Okay.
teams are
Okay.
favorites on their home turf. The other 4 of the 7 are all home underdogs. Mississippi State to Texas, South Carolina to Bama, which we have no shot in winning that damn game. Not
No,
even.
that's the
I should have
most.
saved the $17, but
No,
the
when I
math.
just seriously, that was just pissing money. We should have flipped the script on this one. But hey, whatever. Science is science, right?
Well, we're doing it over the whole 12, 13 week season. You bet every damn game you can get at home. That's what we do. So we're not gonna leave any money out
Do you
there.
know? Do you know what
What?
we win if South Carolina wins? Do you know
I don't,
do you
but I
know
mean,
off the
it
top of your
can't be
head
a
what the?
dollar or two.
Okay, that's okay.
It can't. Yeah, it can't be
If South
much.
Carolina wins, I mean, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, and I know, and you know, and anyone that's ever gambled knows, as soon as I don't make that bet for $17 and the return's well over 100, South Carolina will beat their asses, and I'm going to be sitting here in the review show hating life because I didn't make that bet.
Yeah.
But I've made that bet for
Yeah.
$17, so obviously they're just going to take my $17. That's what's going to happen. So
Right. Exactly.
LSU over
Thank you very much.
A&M, and then Kentucky over the Vols, which I will happily donate $17 to the cause if we don't hit that game, right?
No problem.
So yeah, so Mississippi State, South Carolina, LSU, UK, all home underdogs on their own field this weekend. So
Okay.
let's see. Now that's 7 games.
Yeah.
We really could use a 5-2 weekend to redeem
You
ourselves,
certainly could.
because if we get a 5-2, then you're set really good as far as bank account. Then now let's play a game if you've got time.
Yeah.
OU
Time.
OU over Ole Miss, Arkansas over Auburn, Vandy over Missouri. None of those 3 games would surprise me. Now we picked Ole Miss to beat
No.
OU, but we picked Arkansas to win, and we picked Vandy to win. So, but let's say all 3 of them win.
Yeah.
Mississippi State,
Right.
Texas, South Carolina, Bama, LSU, A&M, Kentucky Vols. You need 2 of those 4 to hit to get you to 5-3, or 5-2 rather, 5-2, to be able to make some money. Out of those 4,
Sure.
so let's take South Carolina, Bama off the list, because neither one of us are going to even consider South Carolina beating Alabama.
That's not even worth. No.
So Mississippi State, Texas, LSU, A&M, UK Vols. So 2 of those 3 now. So now your percentage was 50-50, and
Yeah.
it just
It's
dropped.
worse.
to 66%.
2/3.
So yeah. So
Oof.
I don't know. I think if I had to rank it, so let's go 1, 2, 3. I tell you what, we'll play.
Sure.
Start,
Right.
bench, cut.
Yeah.
Start a game that you think is
Okay.
going to win, hit, bench the second, the third one. So do you want to go first? You want me to go?
I want to go first. Can I
Okay.
do the South Carolina Alabama game? Can I cut down?
That's off the table. Off the table.
That's
We're
off
not
the table. All
considering
right,
it.
fine.
Yeah.
All right. My starter is got to be Mississippi State. I picked them to win outright, so that's number 1. Start. I'm gonna bench. I'm gonna cut Tennessee, Kentucky. I just don't see how that's gonna happen. So there's my start, cut, bench. Yeah.
Okay. That.
LSU getting benched.
Yeah, I kind of want to go with you on this. I do, but I'm going to start LSU A&M, and only because it's LSU at night. If this game was a 12 o'clock
That's fair.
kick, I would have no faith in it at all. But as we all know,
Right.
LSU and Death Valley is a completely different animal at night. And A&M's
True.
7-0, and they've been good, but Arkansas had them last week. I mean, Arkansas had chances to win that ball game last week.
They sure did.
So
Absolutely.
and I think Brian Kelly and LSU absolutely have to have it, where A&M don't have to have it.
Yes.
So I'll start LSU A&M, and then I'm going to bench Mississippi State, Texas, because I mean, like you, I could see Mississippi State getting their first win there. I'm going to cut Kentucky Vols because I just don't think they lose that game. I don't think we lose to Kentucky. That's just not something that Tennessee does.
No.
So I'll cut that.
No.
So that'll be my start bench cut. But we
Okay.
need 2 of the 3.
I would. Yeah, and we need 2 of the 3 to hit. I have personally faith in the Mississippi State one, but I can easily say I agree with you about the LSU. I mean, they could put together real defensive performance to slow down. I'm going to shut them out completely. Slow down the A&M offense, and then put up maybe some cheat points, even a pick 6 or a fumble or a return, scoop score, a punt return, something like that. Get some cheap scores and short fields. That's how LSU is going to have to kind of figure out how to way to win. They're going to have to get cheap scores,
get cheap
whatever
ones,
it is.
for sure.
Just
yep.
win ugly if you have to, right? That's still going to make the LSU people unhappy, but that's okay. Yeah, that's a great finale there. Any other things we want to discuss? We talked about coaches. We talked about all the preview games. We did our picks. I think that's it. I think that's it.
We did it.
Hour and a half, just under an hour and a half. That was pretty good.
We're getting close to that hour.
Right.
We're never going to be at an hour, folks. Just go ahead. We came into this year like we're going to do an hour, a solid hour. Get out of here. Go be with the family. Right. Not really happening that way.
We did 48 minutes one time. This is the 18th time we've done a show. The rest of them are, you talk about the coaches' tenures. Our tenure, as far as how this goes, we're talking on average about 80 minutes probably.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know we ever get to an hour, and it's only going to get as long or longer the more coaching fires that happen, which are bound to happen, come down the pike. And then also the closer we get, especially when the playoff rankings come out, that opens up a whole other door.
Yes.
Now you're projecting who gets in, who's out.
That's like 2 weeks from now, right?
Yeah, it's on the horizon. It's right around the corner.
Yeah, we might have to be its own show. So look for that soon. All right, that is Chris Norton, my brother-in-law. I'm Brian Delaney, his brother-in-law. This is Health We Know Podcast, and that's it for this week. We'll talk to you on Sunday with the review of this weekend's games. Have a great weekend, everybody.